What's going on, my people? It's your boy, Coach D Brown, college and NIL advisor. Listen, this is I want to welcome you again to what's becoming the norm now, where we're just discussing some hot topics, things going on in and outside the recruiting world, and of course NIL business opportunities that's out there. Today I'm getting back though to the ground, the foundation, and it's storytelling day today. All right, I'm gonna be hopefully educational / real life that you guys can listen to and hear, and hopefully get some type of knowledge, game plan, understand what's really going on behind the scenes when it comes to this recruiting process, business. What we're going through right now. All right. So, and I say we, meaning like, obviously, this is what I do, help families, but you may get something from it yourself. All right. Being a parent of a young athlete. And so you can either avoid some of the things that I'm going to be discussing or do the certain things that works in this day and time. You may hear me today. Here it is in January. All right. When if you're watching this live, it might be February or something when you see this repeat, but it may be, like a year from now, what I'm saying might change. This thing is forever changing. All right. And I always say this all the time. And some of these stories I'm going to share, you're going to see firsthand that everybody's recruiting process or story is different. Everybody's story is different. And I want every parent to hear that. And what I mean by that is, like, what works for one person and one family doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Where you think you are as a player may be different from what a coach sees in you, or what your parents, think that you are, and what the coach actually sees or feels or believes who you are. And there are some times that coaches feel like, I can't really help this kid. He's good. He can definitely help my program, but fit or overall, position or something, it may be a reason why he may be holding back. And a lot of times talking to these coaches, sometimes it's just a gut feeling. And it has to be, that player has to be put in front of that coach at the perfect time and place for necessarily, to get that initial offer. Now, what I want to share with you, these are three topics, but I'm going to share with you some stories that's going on, and I'm hoping that they could give you some insight. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk to you about, transfer portals and what I am hearing, seeing, and being involved with. All right, one of the things that kind of baffle me a little bit is that a lot of times players and parents, they are kind of blindfolded or get caught in this matrix field of not understanding the opportunities, or I should say the situations that they're getting their son or daughter into. And everything they feel like is lined up, but it's not necessarily lined up the way they think they are. Why am I saying this? Okay, so I have some stories, and one in particular is a kid that went to this school. All right, they obviously wanted him, I believe, and that he goes and plays in the fall. Now the situation happens where things didn't work out. All right, 3 reasons I always say why it doesn't work out. Either you ain't happy and you see the situation that you're in, all right, and there's layers into that, and I'm going to talk about that. All right, they ain't happy with you, all right, or you have a better opportunity elsewhere. All right, this goes in after the fall, going into the spring season, and definitely summer going into the fall season. All right, but right now we are where we are right now, going into the spring season, which essentially is the season. And some of the things that again that I'm dealing with behind the scenes, again, I just want to share. First off, when I say when you're not happy with the situation, okay, that happens. You go there, they may be promising you something, or they may be, offering you, they may be offering you everything you necessarily want. But when you get there, they see things that they thought they wouldn't see, or they didn't they didn't like they didn't see on film, or didn't see when they saw you, playing over the summer, and now they're second guessing their decision. You go there, you thought it was only 2 second basemen or shortstops, and now there's 4. You thought that academically things was going to be a certain way, the school and all that, the field that you got, but now it's not what you think it is, all right? And something happens in this mix where now you're not happy, and it's usually when it comes to a situation that is on the field, and you kind of start seeing the writing on the wall, and now you're not happy. What do you do with that situation? Some of the situations that I see is a lot of, I get calls, I get, people talking, and parents, hey, my son is not happy there, and they said this, and now it's this situation. And my first thing is like, all right, but like, what do you have planned? Again, this is the situation where it's not necessarily where you think it should be, but they ain't say like you need to go somewhere. All right. It's, it may be like you ain't gonna play. Coach may not just feel you like that. But what do you do in that situation? So what happens is a lot of times, we get caught up as players and all of that, or I should say, players get caught up in their feelings too much, and they don't necessarily see the end of the tunnel. They just see like what's going on right now. And so they start making these real, drastic decisions where nothing really set in stone somewhere else. And everybody thinks they're the man and they think they're that good until you start seeing the portal being, filled up with thousands of players that are in the same situation you're in. And what happens is now you kind of, you mad, and the exit, your fall exit review from your coaches ain't what you think. And you kind of see the writing on the wall, meaning like they may want you, but you may not get on the field at all. Or you didn't think it was what it was. Like another kid that they said wasn't going to play above you is now playing above you because you didn't do good or whatever reason. And now you like, man, I'm just going to go. I'm just telling you to be cautious of this. I'm hoping that, for the high school kids that are listening, the parents that are listening, it doesn't happen to you. But there are I'm sure that some of these kids that I'm talking about right now was listening a year or two from that they were in high school and they weren't thinking that they would be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So now they're in this bind where they're like, I'm not happy. I'm gonna just, I'm gonna be miserable here. I'm gonna leave. And now they go put themselves in a portal. And I don't know if you know, but it's been out there, but this is going back to 2023. I don't know how much the numbers have changed, but 45% of kids that enter the portal don't find a home. That's damn near half. So you got a 50% chance of finding another home. You know what the other 50% is going? To the crib. Potentially career over. So for you, short term, not being happy, not being in the right situation and all of that, you better be 100% committed to your decision and understand everything that's laid out, meaning you may not find a home. And you need to make sure that you're, again, I don't know if you're going to be out there calling coaches and all of that, because most coaches are not going to deal with you anyway until you are officially in the portal. And they're going to tell you that. All right? They're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you that, hey, we love to speak with you and all of that, but we can't talk to you until you're officially in the portal. So what do? I suggest if you ain't got no numbers, and it's just your freshman year especially, or even after your freshman year, after the spring season, if you don't put up no real numbers, all right, and they ain't tell you that they want you to leave, and you're deciding to leave on your own, you better make sure you got a home to just go in. It ain't like you just that dude and just all these schools are just coming to you. You got to make sure you have a home. And again, I get calls sometimes yo, get a feel, can you get a feel? And most of the coaches tell me straight up, yeah, we got some needs, but we ain't going to talk about any player and all of that till they are officially in the portal. They're going to be by the books. But you can kind of see right on the wall if you the easiest way is just to put up some numbers and then you leave. I have told many kids over the years, oh, I ain't happy. They did this and I'm not playing and I'm leaving. I said, well, what kind of numbers you got? If you in a D2, D3 and you ain't got no numbers, it ain't like you just go to another school. I mean, you may find an opportunity, and I'm not saying it's not whatever, but you got a 50% chance. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when I get the phone calls, yo. You know, and again, I understand like it gets very muddy, it gets very like clunky, and you don't know what to do, and that's when it's like, hey, can you help me? Because you realize quickly like the situation ain't sweet. And I'm in a real bind, meaning like my baseball career is on life support. And from the parent side, that's all the money, all the time, all the energy you done spent leading up. Yes, you happy. Just 6 months earlier, you're extremely happy because your son is, has graduated and he's stepping foot on the campus. But here it is 6 months later, we wondering if he's still going to play baseball. This is the realization of what's going on. I ain't even doom and gloom. It's just real talk. I ain't trying to scare nobody. I'm just trying to let you know like what's in store. Be prepared. Don't be leaving. Don't be talking about you unhappy and all of that. We don't have something, a real secure spot because you're giving yourself a 50% chance of finding yourself at home for good. Okay. Now the next part is when they release you. All right. Now that's a little different. You're in the same situation, but they've released you or essentially tell you you ain't good enough. And now you're in the same situation here, but now, it is on you because I'm sure if you balled out, they wouldn't do that. But just situation has it where, again, you're just not good enough for their squad. And there's a lot of, and again, it goes all the way from the top, Power 4 all the way down, okay? And there are kids over here that have gotten, cut, told that they weren't going to play in the fall. After the fall season, and they had to enter the portal. But, depending on where you are in that level, okay, you may not have the numbers you want as far as like, because you only got through the fall. But if you're in the Power 4 schools and all, you might have an opportunity there because, again, if you're at a top level school, guarantee that there were other schools wanting you too. And you can always give them a call and see what's going on. All right. And then you can kind of drop down and kind of see. And that's when you always get the holding patterns for the Division II, the mid-major, Division II, Division III, and so on in the JUCOs because they're waiting to kind of see the trickle-down effect from the players. So, again, this is what's in store. Next, you have the if you're balling out of control, all right, and this usually happens after the spring season. It doesn't happen too much in between the fall and the spring. But after you ball out, and you may hit the portal, but that's a good reason to hit the portal then. All right, because you probably gonna get some money. Or you done moved up a level or two or to a better opportunity, a better school, and now you sitting pretty because you don't put the work in. That's what you got. Like in this day and age, man, like you can't get caught up like in like levels and all of that. You just got to put up numbers, man. You just got to go somewhere and put up numbers. You want to get on the field. We get so caught up in D1 and all of that. And again, I understand if it ain't like Ivy League type of thing, like where you just want to get in because of the education is so great. If it ain't that, you need to make sure you are stepping on the field and getting on the field early. Not getting caught up. Yeah, you may feel like you're Division I, you may be. But in this day and age, it's hard. And I say this, and again, I wasn't in that situation, and I get what most kids feel like this. They feel like I'm a D1. And most of the times back in the day, you might have been. But you might have to take that D2 offer, go put up numbers, okay, and then go ahead and get the Division I, Power 4 school after you to put up some solid numbers. And then now it comes with money. I just met a kid the other day, pitched, all right, for a Division II powerhouse, okay, dominated, all right, the last couple of years, got a degree, and as a graduate, it said he had one more year left for eligibility. Did what he had to do, didn't cry. I'm sure he could have left after his junior year and all, but he was at a power Division II school, left. Go get to Power 4 opportunity because he had one more. All right. Goes to ACC school, and he got some bread. So now he's getting his master's, playing at a big time ACC school, and got a nice little deal over there to come to college. Now, I ain't talking about just scholarship money. I'm talking about on top of it. He don't put the work in. He didn't complain. He was just like, I'm at a solid D2, and I dominated at this D2. So many times we get caught up in the wrong things. Just saying. Now, what happens if you go ahead and they tell you, hey, you may not get a spot. Now you have the red shirt opportunities here, okay? Now, I want to kind of transition into the red shirts. If you're not prepared, okay, it mentally can, like, mess you up. But sometimes it's the best thing for you. I know I'm contradicting because I'm talking about you need to get on the field and all of that. But it's a great program and you're happy with the school education-wise, and the coaching staff is there and they're being transparent. They may not have thought of you being a red shirt, but once you got there, they saw some things that, like, hey, this kid is a little bit above you at this time. Hey, let's red shirt you. Make sure you get an extra year, get that training in, all right? And next year you come back and ready to, you're more mature, ready to go. You understand the college game a lot better. And again, then that benefits you. But if you're not mentally prepared for this, it can affect you big time. These are the stories that's going on behind the scenes over here now. I get messages and phone calls, and they're like, hey, we wasn't expecting the red shirt. We wasn't expecting this. What should we do? Or, man, they talking about red shirting, and you could be upset, and I get it. You want to play. But what if you ain't got no plan B, what you doing? You can't do nothing but take this red shirt, put the work in, and be ready. I'd rather get a red shirt. Me personally, again, I want to play, but if I'm at the school and I choose to stay at the school, I'd rather do a red shirt than sit on the bench and waste a year of eligibility just for the sake of getting 9, 10 ABs. I saw some kids do that. They had a chance at red shirt, but they said, no, I didn't want a red shirt. They got 9, 10 ABs the whole season, and now they got a whole year of eligibility wasted. Yeah, they got to, play some scrimmage games here and there and travel, but they didn't necessarily, get better. They could have did the same things over there, minus 9 ABs, but practicing-wise and all of that, and now they saved their year of eligibility. But the main focus is, again, from a parent and a player standpoint, you got to be mentally, understanding the situation and how you handle this, all right? You could go off the deep end, meaning fall into some type of mental, depression or, man, I thought I was this. Because some of you guys have never been told you're not good enough. All right? And it may be you're not good enough. It's just right now, it's just not, again, they just saying, listen, let's hold off. Make sure you get the proper playing time you need. So just sit back, train, and all of that. It may even tell you not good enough. They're saying you're telling you not good enough, but I'm telling you you're not good enough, okay? But it may be an elder statesman, another junior, senior, and all of that that's going to take your playing time. And they trying to hold on to you without, making, they don't want you to leave. They obviously want you. If they want to redshirt you, they don't want you to leave. If they want you to leave, they'll just tell you, like, you're not a fit here. If you want to go ahead and hit the transfer portal, go ahead. That's telling you you're not good enough, go ahead. But if they're saying, hey, we want to redshirt you, want to keep you, and I hear that happen. I've talked to a couple of D1, coaches that I've helped kids get there, and they're like, he's a little bit this, and, I think the best thing for him is redshirt. We're going to talk to him about redshirt, and I hope he takes the redshirt. And we don't want to lose him. We want him in our program, but we hope he takes his red shirt. And, all they could do is present it out there and hope that this kid takes that opportunity and looks at it as an opportunity to get better, mature, and come back with more hunger that the next year and dominate. But again, if you don't have the right mental state of the red shirt, again, and I'm not saying it's easy, again, because you've never been told no, you've never been told you're not good enough, all right? And now you have the red shirt. Now it's humbling. It is. But those who put in the work and all of that, it works out for them. These are certain situations that's going on right now, like behind the scenes. All right. And this is more for the kids that are currently in college and I'm talking about. These are guys that I've dealt with and known for a while, or even new guys, all right, that I don't never necessarily reached out to me on the side and been like, yo, this is the situation I'm in. Like, can you help me? I'm in a red shirt year, or, I need another home. I left without a backup plan. Because it's hard, man. It's hard to deal when you miss a fall and you're not enrolled in school, or you miss a spring and you're not enrolled in school. Because they're going to ask questions. These coaches are going to ask these questions. What's going on? Oh, he didn't play? And you can't be like, well, I was in a tough situation and I left. You got to have like a legit reason. Because they were like, oh, you can't stick it out? What makes you think that you're going to come here? What happened? Again, just think about it. What you think a coach is going to be like, well, if you don't like what, with the things that kind of transpire, you're going to up and leave here if I give you the opportunity to come on into my program? These are all the things that happens, man. And again, I know every situation ain't ideal. You get recruiting coach, and then you get the real coach. There's two different things. That's a whole different show. That's a whole different, like hour of talking about how recruiting goes, all right? Because you get recruiting coach and you get the real coach once your butt step on that damn campus. And sometimes it throws people for a loop. And I think as coaches, I think as programs, I think as parents, okay, if you don't know, I don't blame parents too much. But sometimes it's we don't prepare the kids enough for what they're going to go through in college. Because sometimes red shirt might be the best thing for them, and it may be the worst thing, to their mind. But like, again, like this is real talk. Now, one of the last things, and I want to hit this up, and now this going back to recruiting high school. When you commit, make sure you are like 100%, your heart, everything is set on that commitment. And I know it's tough because sometimes, depending on timing of everything, you're either too excited and the first one that comes to you jump on, or you wait, and you just want something, and you first person that kind of hits you with something, it could be late in the game as a senior, you take that. And then you wait months, and like, coaches, eventually fall off. They see you committed and they don't reach back out to you. And if you wait too long and you decommit and you kind of you start second guessing your decision, it may cost you a level, it may cost you a group of schools that you felt like you may be able to play in, which is right, but it may cost you. So once you, again, that's why you have to take the time. I always want somebody to go to the school, visit the campus. Don't just go blindly, because the coach wants you to, commit to the school, and you haven't never been to the town or the area or the city or the program. You just look on a sheet of paper. Nah, go experience it. Go see the field. Go see a practice if you can. Go see a game. Like, those are the things you have to do, because it's tough when you've committed to a school and it's deep into the recruiting cycle, and you're like, now we're trying to find a home. This is happening now to a couple of guys in the program now. They've worked hard, but they decommitted at the last minute, and now we're trying to find a spot for them. You got to make sure you are truly committed to your commitment. I don't know. That made me laugh right there. So listen, what I would like, if you are wanting to continue to keep hearing this, message me, let me know. I'm going to continue to keep bringing these tips, these stories. If you are in a position that you are needing help, all right, just continue watching. Let me know, all right? I am in the process of bringing back on some guests, doing what I do, some college coaches, some behind the scenes of college programs, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. As we grow, I'll ask that if you get this information, you feel like it'll help, it'll need, please share this. All right, please like it. Please share it to, all the family, all the parents that you feel like it can help. And as I keep, again, if you have any type of questions that you have, please post them in the comments. Please let me know. All right, and I could either answer them or make it out to actually be a show or something that on these lives that I can share and give you my 2 cents. One of the things that I've kind of been hearing, and I'll end with this, okay? They're talking about getting rid of high school players in the draft. That's a big, it's a kind of topic going on in the background. Me personally, that's what I was. I was a high school draft pick. What's my thoughts on that? I know other sports do it, NFL and NBA, right? I have mixed thoughts about that. The positive side is you mature, you go to college. That'll make that even that right there, that's an extra 20 to 100 players of high-level kids that will definitely be going to college, which will make the college game even more competitive than what it is right now, especially at the highest levels. Obviously, you get the education, you get a chance to mature, and now essentially you're using your minor league years, especially those A-ball years now, in college. I think about myself. I talked to. He passed away, man. He's a good dude, man. Longtime scout for the White Sox, friend of mine, friend of the family. I've known him since I was 12 or 13, and when I got drafted, I was a first rounder. He told me he personally would have drafted me in the third round. He felt like maturity-wise, I wasn't ready. I didn't understand that, but he knew me best. He'd been around me since I was 12 or 13 years old. And he felt like I was a third rounder at best from a maturity level. He said, but everybody kind of got caught up and just the momentum started rolling where I got drafted in the first round. I felt like I was mature. I mean, I didn't know how to wash clothes. I had to learn that. I didn't necessarily know how to live on my own, but I quickly learned, no different from a college student. But I was paying my own bills right away. I needed help. Shout out to my boy Vic. He knows that, Rick Radcliffe. He know that story. He had to show me how to wash clothes. So I guess I wasn't all that mature. But within 2 years, I was in the major leagues at 20, where I would have still been in college if I went to college. So like I said, some people, look at Trout and some of these other guys, A-Rod, Griff, they were 18, 19 in the league. Imagine A-Rod. Imagine, it ain't going to hurt them, but just imagine those dudes at a college with type of numbers they will be putting up. I guess you would just have to do the 1 year JUCO if you wanted to, on that level, just put that 1 year up. The downside, I guess that's the downside, the type of talent, how quickly you can make it to the major leagues. Some people don't need college. Some people are ready to go right away. You gonna tell me an 18-year-old kid that's from Florida, California, Texas, has been playing his whole life at just Georgia, and he been putting in the work all year round, and he physically and mature, mentally he's mature enough. Why he can't get the opportunity? Where again, I'm not trying to pin this, please. I ain't trying to make it out to be no more than what it's on this country is about right now, and I ain't doing that. But I'm just saying, you think of the Latin kids at 15, 16 signing contracts and playing right away and professionally in Dominican academies at 15, 16, 17 years old. So they would be essentially getting to the major leagues. I don't know what they're going to do with the international wise. I'm just saying what they're talking about with the MLB draft, the amateur draft. I don't know. They keep changing it. The lower level minor leagues, I know everything is out to change and continue to grow. Who does it benefit? It ain't going to hurt a player, a high school level kid to go to college. It ain't going to hurt him unless he does get hurt. I mean, that's extra 2 or 3 years of training. It ain't going to hurt. But I know me and my pathway, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. If the athlete that I was, and like, again, if it was just strictly baseball, because I was a football player too, but like if it's just baseball, I definitely wanted to like get into the minor leagues and just try to, like everybody, get to the league as quickly as possible. People may say it hurt me. I got up too early. People said that. Many people said that. So I don't know. Do you fault me for that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wanted to jump up through the system, and I did it. But in the back end, things happen, and I didn't stay. I don't know. I just know that there's some really cold dudes, the Trouts and some of these dudes that don't need 2-3 years. I mean, if you go to JUCO route 1 year, hey, it may help. But some of these dudes, I don't know, man. But I'm sure they're going to change it. I know MLB knows a whole lot more, done a lot more research than I have. I just know that I'm a product of a high school draft, being a high school draft pick. And so I see the benefit. I see how it hurts me too. So those are hot topics that I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm lukewarm on that. I don't want it to change. I'm more on the like, if you that, then all it's going to do is just make high school baseball watered down, because you're going to have guys that are essentially the best of the best. They're going to leave school early. They're going to try to graduate early and do a year in JUCO to kind of, again, I don't know all the rules and how to, but if it's strictly got to go to college, you're going to get the same kids like a Cam Kyle, what he did. All right, with a Bryce Harper, what he did. They dominated high school early, and after their junior year, they spent their so-called senior year. They left. They graduated early and went on to play at a JUCO, put that year in, and then boom, and got drafted. That's what you'll see there. Again, and it'll help a JUCO. There's going to be ways to get around that where you don't have to spend, I don't know, they're going to make you spend 3 years or just going to make you go to junior college. That'll make junior college on a whole nother level too. I keep talking about them junior colleges. Just imagine, that's what it is right now anyway. Some of those high-level Division I JUCOs, they're just stacked with high-level draft picks that didn't like the number that they got. And they just went back to school, or they went to school to just kind of redo their stock again and just see if they could kind of hit the number that they want. It's heavy competition in this collegiate ranks now, man. That's why I love it. I love seeing it. I like seeing where the college game is. I know MLB is its own beast and it's doing well and numbers wise and all of that, but this college level stuff, man, it's amazing to see some big, especially the Power Fours and all that, see these big dudes pumping 97, 98, 99, 100. And I'm just be like, well, how are they in college? But I understand now. Why if you dominate in the Power Four schools over there on the mid-majors, you dominate, you ready. You essentially 1 to 2 years away from playing in the big leagues, if not right away. You seeing this happen every year. Dudes coming from the SEC, they spending 3 months in the minor leagues and going right into the league. It's crazy. Times is different, man. But anyway, like I said, holla at me, comment, share this. Anybody that you feel can get some great information on this, man. As we keep this ball rolling, I'll be back next week, all right? Please, again, share, follow. Come back and holla at me and see me next week, all right? Peace and love, y'all.